The city of Ashdod holds historical and biblical significance. Below is a comprehensive overview of what they share about Ashdod, reflecting on its ancient history, biblical context, and spiritual lessons associated with it. Ashdod. A historical and biblical overview. Ashdod is a city that played a prominent role in the biblical narrative and in the history of ancient Israel. Located along the Mediterranean coast, it was one of the 5 major cities of the Philistine Pentapolis, a coalition of powerful Philistine city-states. The Philistines were a seafaring people, often in conflict with the Israelites, as detailed in the Hebrew Scriptures. Ashdod in the Scriptures. A stronghold of the Philistines. Ashdod is frequently mentioned in the Bible as a significant Philistine city. The Philistines were longtime adversaries of the Israelites, and Ashdod was one of their key urban and religious centers. For example, Ashdod housed the temple of their god Dagon, which becomes significant in biblical accounts. The Ark of the Covenant. In 1 Samuel chapter 5 verses 1 to 12, we find one of the most notable mentions of Ashdod. After defeating the Israelites in battle, the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant and brought it to the temple of Dagon in Ashdod. However, this act led to divine consequences. The statue of Dagon fell face down before the ark, with its head and hands severed, symbolizing the powerlessness of the Philistine deity before the true God, Jehovah. The people of Ashdod were afflicted with plagues, likely tumors, as Jehovah demonstrated his displeasure. This account is a vivid reminder of Jehovah's supremacy over false gods and his ability to act powerfully on behalf of his name. Prophetic condemnation. Several prophets, including Isaiah, Jeremiah, Amos, and Zephaniah, pronounced judgments against Ashdod. These prophecies highlighted the city's arrogance, idolatry, and opposition to Jehovah's people. For instance, in Amos chapter 1 verse 8, Jehovah declares that Ashdod will face divine judgment, signifying his justice and the consequences of persistent rebellion. Isaiah chapter 20 verse 1 mentions Ashdod during a period when the city rebelled against Assyrian rule, leading to its conquest by the Assyrians, a fulfillment of divine prophecy. Historical context and archaeology. Jehovah's Witnesses often underscore the accuracy of biblical accounts through historical and archaeological findings. Ashdod has been excavated extensively, revealing its prominence as a fortified city in ancient times. Archaeologists have discovered massive walls and gates, underscoring its strength as a Philistine stronghold. Artifacts related to Philistine culture, including pottery and inscriptions. Ruins of the Temple of Dagon, validating the biblical narrative about the Ark of the Covenant. These discoveries align with biblical records, strengthening the credibility of the Scriptures. Later periods. After the time of the Philistines, Ashdod underwent various changes in control. It was conquered by the Assyrians, as noted in the Bible. Later, during the Hellenistic period, Ashdod became known as Azotus, Acts chapter 8 verse 40. Philip the Evangelizer passed through Azotus while preaching about Jesus, illustrating its continuing role in biblical history. Spiritual lessons from Ashdod. Jehovah's Witnesses emphasize practical lessons from biblical accounts. The story of Ashdod provides several key takeaways. Jehovah's sovereignty. The humiliation of Dagon and the plagues on Ashdod highlight Jehovah's unmatched power. Worship of idols or reliance on false gods leads to futility, as demonstrated in this account. Respect for sacred things. The Ark of the Covenant was not just a physical object but represented Jehovah's presence and authority. Its misuse by the Philistines brought calamity. This teaches respect for what Jehovah deems holy. Divine judgment is certain. The repeated prophetic judgments against Ashdod and its eventual downfall remind us that Jehovah's warnings are never empty. They reflect his justice and mercy, providing opportunities for repentance. Good news must be shared. By the time of Philip's ministry in Azotus, the city had become a place where the message of Christ could be preached. This demonstrates that even areas with a history of opposition to God can be transformed through the power of the good news. Modern reflections. Today, Jehovah's Witnesses reflect on Ashdod as an example of how Jehovah's purpose progresses despite opposition. The accounts involving Ashdod are not mere ancient stories but serve as a reminder of Jehovah's active role in guiding and protecting his people. Through public talks, publications, and videos, Jehovah's Witnesses use the story of Ashdod to reinforce faith in God's promises and the ultimate vindication of his name. For further reading, Jehovah's Witnesses might direct interested individuals to publications like the Insight on the Scriptures or encourage personal Bible study using tools like the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures, both available on jw.org. In conclusion, Ashdod stands as a testament to Jehovah's sovereignty, the reliability of his word, and the hope that all opposition to his purpose will ultimately be subdued. Its historical and spiritual significance offers valuable lessons for Jehovah's Witnesses and anyone seeking to deepen their faith.